Lecture 1. What is SQL and where is it used? Welcome to the first lecture of this course on SQL. Before we dive into writing queries or managing data, we need to understand the foundation. What is SQL and why does it matter? Today, we will learn what SQL actually is, what role it plays in working with data, and where it shows up in the real world. You don't need any background in programming or databases to follow along. We're starting from the ground up with a focus on clear examples and practical understanding. Objectives of the lecture. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to explain what SQL stands for and what it is used for. Understand the difference between SQL and a database. Identify common areas where SQL is used in everyday technologies. Recognize why learning SQL is a valuable skill in both tech and non-tech fields. What is SQL? Let's start with the basics. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's a language used to communicate with databases. Imagine a giant digital filing cabinet filled with information, rows and rows of customer details, product lists, payment histories, or school records. That's your database. Now, imagine you need to pull out one specific folder from that cabinet or update a phone number. That's where SQL comes in. It gives you the words, the structure, and the commands to access and manage that data. SQL is not used to build websites or design apps. It's used to store, search, edit, and organize data. What can you do with SQL? Here is what SQL allows you to do inside a database. Retrieve data. For example, get all students with grades above 90. Insert new data. For example, add a new user to a list. Update existing information. For example, change in address. Delete old or duplicate entries. Create new tables or change how they are structured. In short, SQL helps you talk to the database in a way it understands. SQL versus databases. What's the difference? A database is the actual container that holds data like the Excel file, but much more structured and secure. SQL is the language you use to talk to that container. To make this clearer, the database is a storage. SQL is the method of interacting with that storage. So, if you have ever heard someone say, "We are querying the database," they probably mean they are using SQL to pull information out of it. Where is SQL used in the real world? Even if you don't see it, SQL is used all around you. Websites and apps. When you search for a product on Amazon or look up a list on Spotify, SQL is helping retrieve the right results behind the scenes. Banking systems. Every deposit, withdrawal, or transaction is stored and updated in a secure database using SQL. Healthcare records. Hospitals and clinics use databases to manage patient records. SQL helps organize, update, and retrieve this critical data. Business reports. Marketing teams use SQL to see which ads performed well. HR teams use it to analyze employee records. Education platforms. When you log into your student portal or see your grades, SQL is fetching the data for you. Wherever structured data exists, there is a good chance SQL is working in the background. Why should you learn SQL? Let's be honest, data is everywhere, and knowing how to access and use it makes you a lot more valuable, no matter what you do. Whether you want to become a developer, data analyst, project manager, or a business owner, SQL gives you the power to make sense of information quickly and confidently. It's also beginner friendly, easy to read and write. Widely used across industries, a strong stepping stone into fields like data science, machine learning, and backend development. Even a basic understanding of SQL can open doors.